Good morning, Mr.
Trick. Nick Trick. May I say what a pleasure it is to meet you. I have never seen a real patent attorney before.
Indeed, for we are numbered but few. You've had coffee already, I take it?
Oh yes. Coffee, and quite a sore throaty, but that's British winters for you, isn't it?
You look rather familiar, Mr. Trick. Have we met before?
In that regard I'm rather like a very bedraggled old piece of rope. To be precise, I am afraid not. Ho ho.
My word, how amusing. I must write that down and tell it to my 5-year-old child this evening. In any case, Mr. Trick, I gather that you have quite a history of, shall we call it, innovation? Where would you like to start?
Perhaps at the beginning. My first flash of genius came at school, when I designed a groundbreaking kite made out of concrete. Sadly, it never really got off the ground.
Did it not?
Oh no, the string worked perfectly. It was the concrete sail that was the problem. Luckily I wasn't deterred. On a school trip to Norfolk a year later, I constructed a revolutionary new type of compass, which always pointed in the wrong direction.
The wrong direction? How in the devil did you get away with that?
I didn't. But neither could anyone else. Ho ho.
If you don't mind me saying, to a highly educated patent attorney this all sounds rather childish.
Gosh, that's a bit harsh. Anyway, my next moment of inspiration came at design college. I invented a radical new aeroplane specially adapted for kamikaze pilots. It was all set to take off, until the money man bailed out at the last moment.
Mr. Trick?
Exactly, that's what I tried to tell him. But he wouldn't listen. What a terrible, terrible shame.
I do hope that you are keeping in mind that my hourly charge rate is quite exorbitant.
I know, but this background information is crucial. You see, after the kamikaze aircraft fiasco I decided there was no point crying over spilt milk, which is precisely how I came round to the idea of manufacturing a run of theft-proof milk bottles.
Now that is certainly a good idea. Milk bottle theft is a real problem along my exclusive street on the South Kensington-Knightsbridge border. And yet, the police seem singularly uninterested in our plight.
Quite right. You see, I realized that the way to put off opportunists was to make the bottles very heavy indeed. Regrettably, though, I had terrible difficulty shifting the prototype.
Oh dear. Did you lose much money?
Yes, I simply couldn't budget. Ho ho. Do you get it?
Mr. Trick. You will be aware, of course, that as a qualified patent attorney I have accepted the heavy burden and solemn responsibility of fostering technological innovation in the United Kingdom. I do hope that you are not wasting my time with a series of somewhat labored jokes.
I do not know what gave you that idea, madam, but I assure you that you are grossly mistaken.
Very well then. Mr. Trick. Your implausibly comprehensive CV indicates that you then entered the controversial field of genetic engineering.
That is quite right. First of all, I created a male deer with extremely long legs. I was hoping to make a fast buck, you see, but unfortunately it just kept falling over. I then began experimenting with unusually colored animals. With an eye on the novelty pet market, of course. I was all set to place my red tape ears on sale, but was thwarted by the sheer bureaucracy. I therefore left the animal kingdom behind, naively thinking it might be easier to try my hand at genetically engineered fruit. However, even the apples kept going pear-shaped. Ho ho, what can a man do?
Mr. Trick, I am afraid that I am beginning to doubt that you have even the most cursory grounding in recombinant DNA technology.
How outrageous! I am in fact a master of a great range of disparate techniques, from cellular biology to electrical engineering. Speaking of which, I was hoping you were going to ask about my extraordinary machine for generating tubular entendres.
I'd rather not.
Oh, go on.
I'm simply not in the mood.
Oh, go on, go on.
Well, make it quick then.
It might take a bit longer to do it properly.
Well, at least get on with it. I suggest you get it out then so I can have a good look.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Why not?
Because I just gave it to your colleague in reception.
What on earth for?
She was asking for it.
I doubt it.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, I do. And I think that's probably quite enough.
But
Be quiet. Mr. Trick, it is now abundantly clear to me that your so-called proud history of innovation is no more than a collection of feeble and contrived puns.
may I interject?
No, Mr. Trick. You may not. There was never any hybrid of a greenhouse and a trampoline, was there?
There was. I hit a glass ceiling.
You did not. Nor did you experiment in training birds to perform feats of mental arithmetic, did you?
Indeed I did, but I soon learned that one swallow didn't make a summer.
Nonsense. And as for this hollow farce that you describe as your eureka moment, the holistic Viagra alternative, you claim to fear that without first obtaining patent protection it will never.
Make it big.
Indeed. Mr. Trick. No amount of patent protection will ever make it big. You do understand that, do you not? That you will never make it big?
Oh. Shall I show you it anyway?
That will not be necessary, Mr. Trick. I shall now proceed to call security. Hello? Yes. I'm afraid a member of the public has strayed into office 14. Could you possibly come and remove it? Thank you, goodbye.